Welcome to today's episode. It's a bit of I don't know, I was going to say currently we are in a position in the world where we're like minutes from war.
Yeah.
Some people are on edge. I felt I needed to, I don't know why, I think this would have taken my mind off of it because it was literally from World War II. I mean, it did kind of take my mind off it, but
Don't focus on this one. Let's just pay attention to an old
to this
one.
war. I think it was a good comparison to, I mean, obviously I don't know the ins and outs, and it's crazy to think what our history books are going to look like in 20 years,
Yeah.
50 years.
It's crazy when you think things like we're living in a time that's going to be history for someone one day. I asked you to think of it, you're like, oh yeah, 50s, 20s, 30s, the 1800s, oh, it's all history. People were just living their life at that time too.
Yeah, that's true. And it felt all normal to them. And they were like, yeah, this is what life is.
That's it. So one day we're going to be able to say, oh, we lived through that. I was alive when that happened.
Yeah, back in my day. I experienced that firsthand. I experienced Trump. So speaking of wars, I've had this one on my list. I've had Josef. I actually thought his name was Mengele, but it's Mengele.
Oh, wow. I always thought it was Mengele too.
So he was more commonly known as the Angel of Death. He is one of the most infamous figures of the Holocaust. His service at Auschwitz and the medical experiments he conducted there have made him the most widely recognized perpetrator of the crimes committed at that camp. He's come to represent the international failure to bring the perpetrators of Nazi crimes to justice. Like so many people got away with a lot. And this story pisses me off because he lived a peaceful life after all this shit that he did.
Yep.
And died at the age of, I don't know, somewhere. I wrote it down somewhere. Almost 80.
Wow.
I think it was 79. He was swimming in the ocean and I think had a heart attack and drowned. So it's not like
he didn't even really get to suffer,
Yeah, which is so annoying.
That's it, like something that you don't think of too. Like when you look at these people like, you know, Hitler, Saddam Hussein, Osama bin Laden, everyone focuses on them, but they don't focus on the people that were doing their bidding.
Yeah, that's true.
They're like, oh, we've wiped out Hitler, so that's okay, the war's over now.
Yeah.
Well, there were people operating the gas chambers. There were people capturing the Jewish people and imprisoning them. There were people like this guy doing the horrific shit he was doing. And then what? Hitler's dead, the war's over, so just go about your business?
Yeah, a lot of people say he was an opportunist because he was a smart man. I don't want to say that. I think I've said that about someone else before. He was a very highly trained doctor and medical researcher. He had 2 PhDs. He went to multiple really well known universities in Germany, but he didn't want to like a doctor that helped people. He wanted to be a research doctor.
Yeah, like
so he
spent scientific
side of it. So he was a highly trained doctor and medical researcher, as well as a decorated war veteran. He was respected in his field and worked for one of the leading research institutions in Germany. Much of his medical research at Auschwitz supported the work of other German scientists that he met during his studies.
Like very educated.
Yeah, he was very highly educated. A lot of people respected him because of the work he did. He'd had 2 medals that he received throughout his time for a lot of the stuff he did at Auschwitz, which is really fucked up. So he got a medal for killing people.
Wow.
Like it was, I think I'd not feel more, I don't know how to explain, because I'm Polish. I'm not Jewish, but I'm Polish. And I think hearing a lot of Holocaust stories and all the stuff that's happened in Poland, in Germany, all across there, it just, I don't know.
Well, it would hit close to home because it was your people. Polish people were executed. A lot of Polish people were gassed.
If I went and actually visited an Auschwitz site, I would just cry.
It would be so surreal just to stand there and know that so many people, like 4 million people or something, lost their lives in concentration camps.
Yeah.
That's an astronomical amount of people. Like, that's an amount of people that you couldn't even imagine. Like, you think if you go to a concert and there's 6,000 people at Adelaide Entertainment Centre.
And what that amount looks like.
Yeah. And you got to times that by 800,000. That's insane.
That's insane at the sheer number of that.
Like, there's a massive chance that you had relatives that went to the gas chamber.
Oh, yeah, probably. I would surely have. Yeah. So he was one of dozens of biomedical researchers who conducted experiments on prisoners in Nazi concentration camps. He was also one of a number of medical professionals who selected victims to be murdered in the gas chambers at Auschwitz. And
Oh,
I think
wow.
that's why they started calling him the Angel of Death,
Yeah.
because he would be, they called it the ramp, where they would pull up each train with all
Yeah.
the prisoners, and he would stand there and pick and choose who was healthy enough to do labor,
Yeah.
who was like, whether they were old, women who were pregnant, children, like people that couldn't physically work, that sort of thing, would
Yeah.
be sent to the gas chambers. He
Oh,
would pick
wow.
and choose specific people to do research on. He was
Yeah.
very, I'll get to it after actually. So he, because he did a lot of stuff on twins, but that was because of, I think, his mentor. I'll get to that. So he just took that as an opportunity to do his research.
The sad thing about it all would have been there was so many parts of his twisted experiments that were beneficial to medicine today.
Yeah.
They've helped us get to where we are today with treatments and stuff, but he just went the wrong way about it.
Yeah.
Like,
So he was embracing a lot of the Nazi ideology where they thought a certain race was more superior than others. So,
yeah,
for example, they thought Germans were more superior to Jews.
yeah,
They thought that you could tell this by the length of your jaw.
yeah,
So that's why they're always measuring people. They're
yeah,
like height, all these certain things. They're like structure and things like that. Obviously, that wasn't right. It was very like Harry Potter and how they thought like, pure blood. They
yeah,
thought that Germans were the superior race
yeah.
and Jews were like, I guess, like the
Dirty, stinking
muggles.
mudbloods.
Yeah, that's literally the ideology they had.
Yeah.
So he did a lot of research, kept a lot of bones, did a lot of research on Jews. So Josef Mengele was born on March 16th, 1911, in the Bavarian city of Günzburg, Germany. He was the eldest son of Karl Mengele, prosperous manufacturer of farming equipment. So Mengele studied medicine and physical anthropology at several universities. In 1935, he earned a PhD in physical anthropology from the University of Munich. And in 1936, Mengele passed the state medical exams. In 1937, Mengele began working at the Institute for Hereditary Biology and Racial Hygiene in Frankfurt, Germany. There, he was an assistant to the director, Dr. Ottmar von Verscher. Please forgive me if I've butchered that. I did listen to someone say it, and I still don't know if I can say it. So Verscher was a leading geneticist. I'm going to struggle with a lot of this because there's so many difficult German words or their like pronunciations.
And you can't even do the English as my second language in this one
Because I'm fucking
you should
Polish.
be better at saying these words.
Well, I'm not German. It's so much different. Oh shit! So Verscher was a leading geneticist known for his research on twins. So that's where he got that, I guess, ideology of it. A lot of the research that he did on twins in Auschwitz, he reported back to Verscher. So under Verscher's direction, Mengele completed an additional doctorate in 1938. Mengele did not actively support the far-right Nazi party before it came to power. However, in 1931, he joined the Stauhelm, which is like the paramilitary of a different right-wing party called the German National People Party. I am so confused because I hate politics, and writing all this down, I was like, none of this makes sense to me. I just know that he joined some sort of Nazi party, and no matter what it was a Nazi party. So it must have been horrible. No, I shouldn't say that. It must have been like their ideologies obviously weren't fucking normal. Mengele became a member of the SA, which is a Nazi party paramilitary, when it absorbed the Stauhelm in 1933. He ceased actively participating in the SA in 1934. During his university studies, Mengele embraced racial science, the false theory of biological racism. So that was his belief that Germans were more superior just because they were German. He believed that Germans were biologically different from and superior to members of all other races. This theory was a fundamental tenet in Nazi ideology, and the Nazi German regime used racial science to justify the forced sterilization of persons with certain physical or mental diseases or physical deformities. So it was the Nuremberg race laws, which outlawed marriage between Germans and any Jewish, Black, Romani people, which were like, they called them gypsies,
Yeah.
that sort of thing, were also based upon racial science. So they literally just thought they were better than everyone.
Yeah.
They were very narcissistic. In 1938, Mengele joined the Nazi Party and the SS. In his work as a scientist, he sought to support the Nazi goal of maintaining and increasing the supposed superiority of the German race. Mengele's employer and mentor, Verscher also embraced biological racism. In addition to conducting research, Verscher and his staff, including Mengele, provided expert opinions to Nazi authorities who had to determine whether persons qualified as German under the Nuremberg laws. Mengele and his colleagues also evaluated Germans whose physical or mental condition might qualify them to be forcibly sterilized or barred from marriage under German law. He ended up serving on the Eastern Front. In June 1940, Mengele was drafted into the German army. A month later, he volunteered for the medical service of the Waffen-SS, which is like a military branch of the SS. At first, he worked for the SS Race and Settlement Main Office in German-occupied Poland. There, Mengele evaluated the criteria and methods used by the SS to determine whether persons claiming to be of German descent were racially and physically suitable to qualify as Germans.
Wow.
So that's why they were always measuring people. I don't know why they had this theory.
So it wasn't even so much just against the Jews. It was against, like, if you didn't fit that perfect, blonde head, blue eyed, chiseled jaw.
That's probably where that came from, I guess.
You can't breed because we want strong jaws and big chests and you're a little puny man-child.
Because they just thought they were better than everyone. Around the end of 1940, Mengele was assigned to the engineering battalion of a SS division as a medical officer. For about 18 months beginning in June 1941, he saw extremely brutal fighting on the Eastern Front. And I think that kind of not accustomed him to, what's the right word?
Like desensitized him?
I think that desensitized him to... Well, one, he was already in the medical field, and I feel people in the medical field already have some sort of tolerance, I guess, for what they see and what they can handle. In addition, in the first weeks of Germany's attack on the Soviet Union, Mengele's division slaughtered thousands of Jewish civilians. Mengele's service on the Eastern Front earned him the Iron Cross, both second and first class, and a promotion to SS captain, which is fucked. I wrote here in brackets what SS captain is in German. Let me try and read this. SS Hauptsturmführer.
Yep. Shit, the furniture's dancing.
Hauptsturmführer. Well, I think of his... Have you seen Eurotrip?
Yeah.
And he's like in that.
Oh, and he's got to say them.
Like, Fluggen, Fluggen.
Yeah. Did you say?
Oh, shit. I always refer everything to movies. Oh, shit. I shouldn't be laughing right now. Mengele returned to Germany in January 1943, and I only learned earlier in the podcast it was because he got injured in battle.
Yeah.
So he actually got sent home early. While awaiting his next assignment, he began to work again for his mentor, Verscher. And I'm sorry if I keep butchering that. Verscher had recently become the director of the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute for Anthropology, Human Genetics, and the Eugenetics, which is KWIA. I'm just going to say QUI.
Yeah.
KWA, in Berlin. On May 30th, 1943, SS assigned Mengele to Auschwitz. He wanted to go to Auschwitz, and it happened to be because the current doctor that was serving there, I think he fell ill, so he had to return back to Germany, to Berlin, to the city, so he got assigned. He got the job.
Yeah.
He filled that spot very happily. There is some evidence that Mengele himself requested this assignment. He worked as one of the camp physicians at Auschwitz-Birkenau. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It was the largest of the Auschwitz camps and also served as a killing center for Jews deported from across Europe. In addition to other duties, Mengele had responsibility for Birkenau's Ziegenauerlager, which is literally was the gypsy camp.
Yeah.
Beginning in 1943, nearly 21,000 Romani men, women, and children, referred to as gypsies, were sent to Auschwitz and imprisoned in the Ziegenauerlager. I'm so sorry. When this family camp was liquidated on August 2nd, 1944, Mengele himself participated in selecting the 2,893 Romani prisoners who were to be murdered in the Birkenau gas chambers. Shortly thereafter, he was appointed chief physician for the part of the Auschwitz camp complex called Auschwitz-Birkenau, or Auschwitz II, and in November 1944, he was assigned to the Birkenau Hospital for the SS. So the Angel of Death was mainly because he was selecting prisoners pretty much for murder. So as part of their camp duties, medical staff at Auschwitz performed so-called selections. The purpose of the selections was to identify people who were unable to work. The SS considered such persons useless and therefore murdered them. When transports of Jews arrived at Birkenau, the camp medical personnel selected some of the able-bodied adults to perform forced labour in the concentration camp. Those not selected for labour, including children and other adults, were murdered in the gas chambers. Anyone that was like pregnant women, they'd just gas them.
Like anything that was a liability, I guess.
Mm-hmm. There was one that I heard of that he experimented on. There was one lady that was... I don't think she knew herself that she was pregnant. Let her live because they didn't know she was. And when she was like 8 months pregnant, he obviously noticed. So he said, I'll let you keep the baby if you let me experiment on you and the baby.
Wow.
And he literally starved the baby because he just wanted to see how long it took.
Wow.
How long they could last without nourishment, which is fucked. That experiment has no benefit. Like it wasn't... What's the benefit of seeing how long someone can go malnourished? Like, I don't know. There was just no purpose to that. That was more of like a sadistic, I don't know. Angel of Death is a very perfect sum up of
very fitting
Mengele.
for him.
Camp physicians at Auschwitz and at other concentration camps also conducted periodic selections in the camp infirmaries and barracks. They conducted these selections in order to identify prisoners who were injured or had become too ill or weak to work. The SS used various methods to murder these prisoners, including lethal injections and gassing. Mengele routinely carried out such selections at Birkenau. This caused some prisoners to refer to him as the Angel of Death. After World War II, Mengele became infamous for his work at Auschwitz thanks to the accounts of prisoner physicians who had worked under him and of prisoners who had survived his medical experiments. Mengele was one of some 50 physicians who served at Auschwitz. He was neither the highest-ranking doctor in the Auschwitz camp complex nor the commander of the other doctors there. Nevertheless, his name is by far the best known of all the doctors who served at Auschwitz. One reason for this was Mengele's frequent presence on the ramps where selections took place. When Mengele did not himself perform selection duty, he often still appeared at the ramps, looking among the prisoners for twins for his experiments. He was also looking for physicians to staff the Birkenau infirmary. So the SS authorized German biomedical researchers to conduct unethical and lethal human experiments in the concentration camps. Auschwitz provided prisoners for human experiments conducted at various other camps, and it also served as the site of a variety of human experiments. This is because of the number of prisoners sent there, and that's why he wanted to go there, because so these sort of experiments were being done in humane ways for research purposes already. These experiments were being held, but it was very hard to find, I guess, willing participants. Because parents of twins, you'd be worried. You don't want them to get hurt. You don't want them to fall ill. You don't want them to be the guinea pig of things. So it was hard to find participants that were actually willing to go through these experiments. So he took Auschwitz as an opportunity for his research to be able to advance in his career, to be able to be this highly respected doctor. The SS sent 1.3 million men, women, and children from many different national and ethnic backgrounds to Auschwitz. Researchers looking for human subjects who met specific criteria could more easily find them at Auschwitz than at other camps. Mengele was one of more than a dozen SS medical personnel who conducted experiments on people imprisoned at Auschwitz. I've got a list of a couple doctors. These doctors included Edward Wirths, the head Auschwitz physician. I'm struggling to say physician. Karl Kloberg, a noted specialist in the treatment of infertility. So they had a lot of doctors because they didn't want women to fall pregnant and all that sort
Yeah.
of thing. They tried to sterilize everyone, and a lot of women died as a result of the way they did it.
Yeah.
Like they didn't use anesthesia, but like they didn't give a shit about things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Horst Schumann, who gassed thousands of patients with disabilities during the Nazi euthanasia program. SS physician Helmut Vetter, yep, his name was Helmut, who conducted drug trials for the Bayer subsidiary of IG Farben on prisoners at Dachau, Auschwitz, and Gusen concentration camps. Johann Paul Kremer, a professor of anatomy, and these doctors saw their appointment to Auschwitz as an exciting opportunity to advance their research. So they all had the same idea
Yeah.
that they were going to be these highly respected research doctors because of the things they were going to find doing all these inhumane experiments. So the experiments in the concentration camps permanently maimed many victims or caused them to die. In some experiments, death was the intended outcome for the victims. The medical professionals who conducted experiments in Auschwitz did not seek the prisoners' consent or inform them of their treatment or possible effects. There's so many people that actually survived experiments and have no idea what they're injected with.
Wow.
The types of experiments conducted at Auschwitz included testing methods of mass sterilization, so that was gassing, inflicting wounds on prisoners or infecting them with diseases to study the effects and to test treatments. So they were doing testing that was valuable
Yeah.
to society, but they were doing it in such an inhumane way and without consent.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, not siding with him in any way, shape, or form, so I don't want anyone to think that at all. But, like, these things needed to be done, but they needed to be done more humanely. They
Yeah.
needed to be done on people who volunteered,
Yes.
who were aware of what they were,
Mm-hmm.
like, in for, who said, okay, yeah, cool, inject me with this disease and let's see what it does.
Yeah.
Not on people that were stolen from their families, taken from their homes, like, from their jobs, from their partners, from whatever.
Just because of their...
Yeah. And then treated as less than human. Like,
because they
yeah.
had that Nazi ideology, they didn't care. They thought they were better than everyone. So they like murdering and dissecting prisoners for anthropological and medical research. So one thing he did with the twins, he would do all his research on one twin.
Yeah.
And if they ended up dying, he would then murder the other twin
Yeah.
and then research their bodies to sort of compare.
See what the difference is. Yeah.
Separate from his regular duties at Auschwitz, Mengele conducted research and experiments on prisoners for his own benefit. His mentor, Verscher, I'm never going to get that right, may even have arranged Mengele's assignment to Auschwitz for the purpose of supporting the research of that Kaiser Wilhelm Institute.
Yeah.
Throughout his time at Auschwitz, Mengele sent his colleagues in Germany blood, body parts, organs, skeletons, and fetuses.
Wow.
These were all taken from Auschwitz prisoners. Mengele collaborated on his colleagues' research projects by conducting studies and experiments using prisoners. So they'd, say we need this, and he'd do it for them. There was one colleague that liked, heterochromia?
Yeah.
How they've got like two different coloured eyes.
Yeah.
One of his colleagues liked that. So anytime someone had heterochromia, cut their eyes out and send them to his colleague.
Wow.
Just because he liked heterochromia. In addition to his work with the KWIA, Mengele also conducted his own experiments on Auschwitz prisoners. He hoped to publish the results and thereby gain the credentials to qualify for a university professorship. And apparently he took all his... I'm jumping because he does get away and die in another country pretty much peacefully, which is fucking annoying.
Yeah.
But he took all his research with him.
Yeah.
Through every country that he went to and escaped through.
Wow.
And when he died and they found out it was him and confirmed it was him, and they found all this research, and I don't know whether it was journal entries or something, but he hoped to use this research. He thought that everything he did at Auschwitz was going to get him, he was going to become this well-known doctor. And obviously he would have been following stories of himself.
Yeah.
And known people were after him and that they hated what he did. So
Yeah.
he obviously didn't go publish it and be like, hey, I'm alive over here.
Yeah.
because everyone hated him. But he was that narcissistic that he thought he was going to accomplish all these things with all his research. He thought he was doing good.
Yeah, that whole like delusions of grandeur thing.
Yeah. In the course of his service at Auschwitz, Mengele organized a research complex located in a number of barracks. So it was essentially like a camp within the camp.
Yeah.
Like he had all his subjects in a separate area. He chose his staff from among the prisoners who were medical professionals, and Mengele was able to obtain up-to-date instruments and equipment for his research and even set up a pathology lab. Mengele's own research and the research he conducted for the KWIA generally focused on how genes develop into specific physical and mental traits. When conducted ethically, this is a legitimate and important field of genetic research. So that's what I was saying. Like, they just didn't have volunteers for that.
Yeah.
However, the work of Mengele, Verscher, and their colleagues was warped by their belief in a pseudoscientific theory of race that was fundamental to Nazi ideology. So all their research was just warped with what they were doing because of how they thought they were better than everyone.
Yeah.
This theory held that human races are genetically distinct from each other. It established a hierarchy of races and stressed that inferior races are genetically more likely to exhibit negative traits than supposedly superior races. The hereditary traits that were considered supposedly negative included more than physical and mental illnesses and deficiencies. Mengele sought to identify specific physical and biochemical markers that could definitively identify the members of specific races.
Yeah.
This sounds so smart, and I feel so dumb reading all this because Mengele and his colleagues believed that finding such markers was vitally important for preserving the supposed racial superiority of the German people. For Mengele and his colleagues, the importance of the research justified conducting harmful and lethal experiments on people, in this case Auschwitz prisoners, whom they considered to be racially inferior. So there was thousands upon thousands upon thousands, like over 100,000 victims, I suppose you would say. There was a huge focus on twins, which was for his mentor. I've got a story of one that actually survived.
Oh, wow.
Which was Renate Gutmann. Renate, her twin brother Rene.
Yeah.
That sounds like so there's Renate, her twin brother Rene, and their German Jewish parents lived in Prague. Shortly before the twins were born, Renate's parents had fled Dresden, Germany, to escape the Nazi government's policies against Jews. Before leaving Germany to live in Czechoslovakia, Renate's father, Herbert, worked in the import-export business. Her mother, Ita, was an accountant. So in 1933 to 39, Renate's family lived in a 6-story apartment building along the number 22 trolley line in Prague. And they wore matching outfits and were always well-dressed. And they just spent their days in a nearby park. They were just cute little twins.
Living a normal life.
Yeah. In March 1939, the German army occupied Prague. And so then in between 1940 to 45, just before Renate turned 6, her family was sent to Auschwitz from the Theresienstadt ghetto. There she became number 70917. So she was separated from her brother and mother and taken to a hospital where she was measured and x-rayed. Blood was taken from her neck. Once, she was strapped to a table and cut with a knife with no anesthesia at all. She got injections that made her throw up and have diarrhea. And while Renate was ill in the hospital after an injection, guards came in to take the sick to be killed when they did their routine inspections.
Yeah.
The nurse caring for her hid her under her long skirt, and she was quiet until the guards left. Renate and her brother survived and were reunited in America in 1950.
Wow.
They learned that as one pair of the Mengele twins, they had been used for medical experiments. And so that was one. She was being researched on, experimented on, whereas he wasn't. Mengele drew his victims mainly from 2 ethnic groups, the Roma and the Jews. These groups were of particular interest to biomedical researchers in Nazi Germany. Nazi ideology considered both Roma and Jews to be subhuman and to pose a threat to the German race. For this reason, Nazi scientists did not consider medical ethics to apply to members of these groups.
Wow.
Yeah. They just did not care. While Mengele served at Auschwitz-Birkenau, more than 20,000 Roma were imprisoned there, and hundreds of thousands of Jews arrived there on transports. Nowhere else in the world could scientists have access to so many members of these groups concentrated in one place. And nowhere else did they have the power to experiment on human beings in whatever way they wanted,
Yeah.
with no consequences. One colleague recalled Mengele actually commenting that it would be a crime not to take advantage of the opportunities for human experimentation at Auschwitz. So he literally thought this was a huge opportunity.
Yeah.
In addition to choosing Roma as subjects for his medical experiments, an anthropological study of the Romani men, women, and children was conducted. When there was an outbreak of noma, which was like a gangrene of the mouth,
Yeah.
among the Romani children in the camp, he assigned prisoner physicians to study it. Noma is a bacterial infection that primarily afflicts extremely malnourished children. So obviously they were
Oh,
malnourished
wow.
there. So it
Yeah.
wasn't anything to do with their race. However, Mengele believed that the Romani children at Auschwitz suffered from noma because of heredity rather than because of the conditions at the camp. The prisoner physicians discovered how to cure noma, which was normally fatal. Yet after all of that they would have gone through, the
Yeah.
children who were cured were eventually murdered in the gas chambers.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh.
Why save them then?
Yeah. But that was just studies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the 1930s, twins were a major focus of human genetic research already, but they just didn't have many volunteers of it.
Yeah.
Before World War II, Verscher and other biomedical researchers used twins to study the hereditary basis of diseases. So they would, a lot of, like one would be injected with a disease and the other wouldn't, and you'd kind of,
Yeah.
you'd have one that was
Compare.
like more controlled than the other. These earlier researchers obtained the consent of the twins or their parents, but it was difficult for researchers to enlist many twins. At Auschwitz, Mengele collected hundreds of pairs of twins from among the Jews who arrived there on transports and from among the Roma imprisoned there. No researcher had ever been able to study and experiment on such a large number of twins.
Wow.
Mengele ordered his staff to measure and record every aspect of the twins' bodies. He drew large amounts of blood from the twins and sometimes performed other painful procedures on them. Mengele also murdered sets of twins at the same time in order to conduct autopsies of their corpses. After he studied the autopsies, Mengele sent some of their organs to the KWIA. When he conducted selections of arriving Jews on the unloading ramps at the camp, Mengele looked for people with physical abnormalities. He studied these people and then had them murdered. He sent their bodies to Germany for study by the researchers in Berlin. Most of the victims of Mengele's medical experiments were children. The children Mengele selected for experiments lived in separate barracks from the other prisoners and received somewhat better food and treatment. Mengele was friendly toward the children sometimes. So I wrote, in 1985, Moshe Ofer, a survivor of Mengele's experiments, described his and his brother Tibi's encounters with Mengele. Mengele visited us as a good uncle, bringing us chocolate. Before applying the scalpel or a syringe, he would say, "Don't be afraid, nothing is going to happen to you." He injected chemical substances, performed surgery on Tibi's spine, and after the experiments, he would bring them gifts. In the course of later experiments, he had pins inserted into their heads, and the puncture scars are still visible. One day, he took Tibi away. My brother was gone for several days. When he was brought back, his head was all dressed in bandages, and he died at my arms.
Oh, wow.
So he had literally just buttered them up and then experiment on them. Mengele used children for his own experiments and also to support the work of the KWIA. He collaborated in a study of the development of eye colour by putting a substance supplied by one of his colleagues in the eyes of children and newborns. The results range from irritation, swelling, to blindness, and even death.
Wow.
He wouldn't tell them what it is, and it's so fucking annoying that he got away. So in January 1945, as the Soviet Red Army advanced through Western Poland, Mengele fled Auschwitz with the rest of the camp's SS personnel. He spent the next few months serving at the Gross-Rosen concentration camp and its subcamps. In the final days of the war, he donned a German army uniform and joined a military unit. After the war ended, the unit surrendered to US military forces. Posing as a German army officer, Mengele became a US prisoner of war. The US Army released him in early August 1945, unaware that Mengele's name was already on a list of wanted war criminals. From late 1945 until spring 1949, Mengele worked under a false name as a farmhand near Rosenheim, Bavaria. From here, he was able to establish contact with his family. When US war crimes investigators learned of Mengele's crimes at Auschwitz, they tried to find and arrest him. Based on the lies told by Mengele's family, the investigators concluded that Mengele was dead. The US effort to arrest him forced Mengele to recognize that he was not safe in Germany, and with financial support from his family, Mengele immigrated to Argentina under yet another false name in July 1949. By 1956, Mengele was well established in Argentina and felt so safe that he obtained Argentine citizenship as Jose Mengele.
Wow.
In 1959, however, he learned that West German prosecutors knew he was in Argentina and were seeking his arrest, so they were still hunting him.
Yeah.
Mengele immigrated to Paraguay and obtained citizenship there. In May 1960, Israeli intelligence agents abducted Adolf Eichmann in Argentina and took him to Israel to be tried. Correctly guessing that the Israelis were also looking for him, Mengele fled Paraguay. With support from his family in Germany, he spent the rest of his life under an assumed name near Sao Paulo, Brazil. On February 7th, 1979, Mengele suffered a stroke and drowned while swimming at a vacation resort near Bertioga, Brazil. He was buried in a suburb of Sao Paulo under the assumed name Wolfgang Gerhard.
Jesus.
Yeah. In May 1985, the governments of Germany, Israel, and the United States agreed to cooperate in tracking down Mengele and bringing him to justice. German police raided the home of a Mengele family friend in Günzburg, Germany, and found evidence that Mengele had died and been buried near Sao Paulo. Brazilian police located Mengele's grave and exhumed his corpse in June 1985. American, Brazilian, and German forensic experts positively identified the remains as those of Josef Mengele, and in 1992, DNA evidence confirmed this conclusion. Mengele eluded arrest for 34 years and was never brought to justice.
Wow.
So he spent his remaining years fucking swimming around in Brazil,
Yeah.
thinking he was going to be this wildly known researcher and that everyone was going to love him.
I guess everyone knows his name now.
Yes, yes. I don't even know how to end this episode because there's no... For what he did, I feel like so many people were still suffering for what happened in that Holocaust and World War II.
Because there is still Holocaust survivors that are alive who could have come across and interacted with him.
Mm-hmm.
He could have even injected them with things that have then come down to affect their children.
Yes.
Or their grandchildren.
Too. So he's caused genetic problems from what he's done to them. Yes. Yeah, 100%.
It's crazy. My landlady, she lived over there during the war and they escaped from Germany to Holland. One of her parents was German, one was Jewish. And so in Germany, they were two Jewish, but in Holland, they were two German.
Ugh.
So they were always ostracized. She was the only one of her siblings that was born prior to the start of the war.
Mm-hmm.
Her other three siblings were all born after the start of the war. Her other three siblings are either already dead or dying from cancer. She's 96 and I have to tell her off for climbing ladders to try and do the gutters.
Oh my God.
She is a machine.
Wow.
I'm constantly, don't do that. I'll do it. I'll go get that. No, I'll do it. She just still drives
just
everything.
Built different.
Yep. Absolute machine. But the difference in her siblings just from being born prior to the war and after the war
made a difference.
Yeah. Because she was saying she can remember the sirens going off and then the mother would grab her and the siblings and run downstairs and they'd go into the bunkers underneath. Must have been her mum who was German because her mum's brother would come and visit and he was a German soldier.
Mm-hmm.
So then her mum would get arrested as a Nazi sympathiser. And she's like, no, he's just my brother. So they ended up coming over here in 1952 or something. But it's crazy, just randomly talking to her one day when she mentioned that she was born in 1932 And then I was like, oh my God, you would have lived through the war. And she was telling me these stories, and I was sitting there, I just had tears running down my face because it just suddenly was so real.
Yeah. I was about to say that would be if you were a nurse in a nursing home or something.
Yeah.
The stories you would hear.
Yep.
I would not do my job because I'd just be sitting there listening to everyone.
Yep. And it was so interesting. Like, they had a very mild experience with the war, but even little things like hearing the sirens and having to grab the kids and run downstairs because the town was being bombed.
Yeah.
Or,
and that's what sort of made me, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're right.
That's sort of why I was like doing this one with everything that's happening now.
Yeah.
It made me think of alarms and sirens going off in Israel, or keep not being able to differentiate. And I don't know, that sounds so dumb or so, because to me, I'm like, I don't know who the bad guy is.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, everyone's just bombing everyone willy-nilly.
Yeah.
And it's all citizens, innocent citizens that are dying.
Yep.
I don't know who the bad guy is here because
Yeah.
everyone's just killing everyone.
Just before I came here today, that I saw an interview with Trump, and he literally said the bad guys have been doing bad things to each other for that long that no one knows what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is probably, of all the years, of all the things he's ever said, that made the most sense of anything I've ever heard. But all they could focus on was the fact that he said fuck, knowing full well he was on live TV. Like, but it's true. Like, I don't know who the bad guy is. And I've been paying attention to, like, only the last few days, because I'm very much ignorance is bliss. Like, I'd rather not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I'd just rather not know.
My chi is very disrupted. I don't know. Like, I can't function sometimes if there's so much going on in my head, and I stress and empathize so easily that I find if I watch the news every night, what's that thing where people were like, they can't leave their house, like they're too terrified
agoraphobia.
to leave. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to give myself agoraphobia if I watch the news and listen to everything that's going on.
Yeah,
and I know that is so. I don't know what the word is.
No, it's true. It's what happens. Like, it's just, you get that afraid of what's going on out there that you don't want to leave the house. And I think more and more people are getting like that without even realizing now, because people just don't want to be out there.
Yeah,
they don't want to interact with other people. Other people are shit.
Yeah,
like, you walk to the shopping center at the moment and you can fucking get stabbed.
Yeah,
like, what the hell is this world we're living in?
And I know that happens a lot. There's so many shootings and things in America. People are scared to go to school, whereas, like, sort of in Australia, you're not as terrified of those things.
Yeah.
But it's starting to become like that. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know how Americans function every day.
Right.
Being afraid to drop your kids off at school.
Yeah.
Because another kid's going to have a freak out and stab someone or shoot someone.
There is no way, if I was in America, my child would be homeschooled.
Yeah.
Like, there is no way I would be sending my kid to school. For them, it just seems to be, I mean, granted, our only experience with America is what we see on social media. But, like, I see TikToks of people like, oh, we're going out today to buy a bulletproof backpack for our kid. What? Like, come with us while we go and buy a bulletproof backpack. If my child needs a bulletproof backpack, they're not going to school.
I'm in the wrong country.
Yeah.
If my child needs a bulletproof backpack.
Like, that's a third world country. That's not the leader of the fucking free world that America seems to think it is. Like, in my son's last year, he was in year 12, and there was some fucking idiot online was posting pictures of gel blasters, but he'd taken, like, the orange cap off of the end,
so
they all looked real.
realistic.
And he was posting all over Snapchat, oh, if you go to this high school, which was my son's high school, I suggest you don't go tomorrow, shit's going down. And
wow.
So he was posting all these videos threatening to shoot up my son's school the following morning. So I got up in the morning, and I'd had a few messages from a few friends that were like, hey, have you seen this? I know he goes to this school. So I got up, go walking down to the kitchen. He's up, he's in his uniform. I was like, go back to bed. I was like, there's no fucking way you're going to school today.
Yeah.
So I messaged his dad. I was like, he's not going to school. Like, this could be complete bullshit. But when the chances of it being true could result in my child's death,
he's not
fucking
risk.
going to school.
Yeah.
So I actually kept him home all week. And the kid ended up getting caught And then the following day, another kid did it. So 2 kids did it 2 days in a row. And you were seeing, like, parents were rocking up at the school to pick their kids up. And because throughout the day they'd been made aware of it, the school didn't contact any parents about it.
Wow.
And when they finally did, they just put a post up on their Facebook saying, we're aware of the threats online and they're not, basically, like, we're not taking them serious. It's a stupid kid posting things online.
And I know it's because Australia's not really accustomed to taking that threat seriously because we haven't experienced that.
But it's a matter of yet. We haven't experienced it yet.
Exactly.
Like, there's, what our government did with mass shootings and stuff seems to have worked. Like, we've had 2 mass shootings and everyone says one. Everyone says there was only fucking Port Arthur, but there wasn't. There was another one that was in Sydney or Queensland where someone actually worked for the postal service and went in and shot it up, which is where the term going postal comes from.
Okay.
So there was that, and then there was the Martin Bryant situation where they took all the semi-automatic guns away, and we haven't had the issues.
And even with the whole gel blaster thing, look how quickly that stemmed. Like, they made gel blasters illegal in every state in Australia because
they looked too real.
They looked too real for starters, and then a couple kids, I don't know if it happened in multiple states. I know it happened here in SA, which is why they made it illegal. But kids went around and shot people, like they'd just drive past and shoot them on the street, which is like messed up. I know you can't. Well, I say you can't kill someone with that, but imagine if you got hit in the eye or hit in a specific spot on your temple or something, and like, you don't know what damage that could do.
And like, not been people were using them to hold up servos and stuff because they looked so real. So how quickly that came into effect, and people had to surrender their gel blasters, which is a toy, or it's sold as a toy. And now I think they're allowed to have them again now, but they have to have like a fluoro orange end on the barrel. Like, it's got to be obvious that they're a toy. So they're not allowed to be black or gunmetal grey or anything like that. Like, they've got to be...
and I think you have to have a gun license. An actual gun license just to have a gel blaster. So people... I think it's like a little bit easier to obtain it, but it's still something you have to pay for and have to register and things like that. Like, you have to have each piece registered.
Which, like, I think... so be it. The same as I saw the other day, was it Queensland or New South Wales or something, has just made pepper spray legal.
Oh, really?
I think that's fucking fantastic. I think it should be legal, but if you use it, you should have 24 hours to get to the police station and report it. So, like, each pepper spray, you should have to buy them from the police station, have a serial number on it that registers to you. And then if you use it on someone, you should have 24 hours to go and report to the police station. Here you go, it's been used, and explain why. So that way they're not out there being used wrong. And the ones that are being used wrong are going to be illegally obtained anyway, which happens now anyway.
For things,
But at least if they're legal and people can carry them, might stop some people getting fucking murdered while they're out for a jog.
I feel like that's happening a lot lately too. Like, I thought this case was going to take my mind off everything that's going on in the world. But
it just made it worse.
Spiraled. And I don't know what part of my brain thought this was going to take my mind off of war when it's all about war and torture and stuff. And it's crazy, like the whole Gaza Strip and what happened when they took all those hostages and things. They were breaking into people's apartments and things and raping women and murdering people for no reason.
This is the thing I'll never understand. Going in to a civilian's home and shooting the husband and raping the women and the bullshit that they were doing. How does that help you achieve whatever your goal is that started the war in the first place?
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand.
Like, that's not achieving anything. That's just being a piece of shit.
That's just war crime.
Right. Like,
It's taking advantage of... Not weaker. It's taking advantage of people in a weaker position.
Yeah. You're just going, hey, I'm here, I've got a gun, this is what I want, and I'm going to do it.
You listen to me.
Yeah. But you're not solving anything. Like, you can't walk into a woman's house, shoot, like walk into someone's house, shoot the man of the house, rape the woman, and then expect them to go, "You're right, we'll give you a cheaper price for oil."
Yeah, because what are they going to do? They can't do anything.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not helping you achieve anything, which is where you stop getting listened to. Yeah.
Yeah, so this episode definitely didn't calm me down, because I hate politics
Yeah.
and I hate religion with a passion.
Yeah.
It's all so shoved down your throat, and it's very dictatorship.
Yeah.
Both religion and politics is
absolutely.
very dictatorship and very listen to one singular group or individual.
Yeah, and if you don't side with them, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Like, and
you're not allowed to have
die.
your own opinion.
Yeah.
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 Now I'm just pissed off.
Now I've got to think of something I can do that will, like, an episode I can do that will pull you out of that.
Yeah, it's hard to end an episode on a note when you don't have like a nice outcome.
Yeah.
He obviously lived the rest of his life in peace, pretty much. He did jump from a couple countries to country, but he still lived in peace.
Yeah.
And he died.
Yeah.
Having lived out his life doing what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating.
And probably relatively quickly and pain-free. Like, yeah, could have had a heart attack and just sunk in the water and drowned.
But at least they found him and sort of have a conclusion to what happened to him. Because I hate those theories of like, oh, Adolf Hitler actually escaped. And actually they say he was in like Argentina as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, because there's so many theories on him too. Like, oh, these people shot him. Oh, no, he shot himself.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he was never shot. He escaped.
Yeah.
Like,
I should do one on Adolf Hitler. That's fucked up. I feel like just the whole Nazi party, everything Nazi is just so... It's fucking stupid with like Kanye West at the moment and how he was posting all that Nazi bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, do you realize that their Nazi party thinks that blacks are inferior and you're wearing all their shit?
Yep. And I think so many people focus on the Jew side of it, which, you know, I mean, 4 million of them were killed, as they fucking should. But he wasn't just anti-Jew. He was pro the superior race. Like you were saying before, they were even wiping out Germans.
Yeah.
Because their jaw wasn't the right size.
Yeah.
And they didn't want that person to breed because they didn't meet a certain criteria.
Yeah.
Like, you know, oh, you're 5'6". Sorry, that's not tall enough. We want 6 foot, blonde haired, blue eyed men.
Yeah.
Like, so now you've got to go, or, you know.
I don't know how to end this one. It's not a sad note. Like, I'm not sad. I'm amped up, I think, because of what's going on. And I think you can compare a lot of what's going on now.
Yeah.
It is a huge leap, but it is still war crimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And innocent people are dying every single day because of one person's agenda.
Yeah.
And
that's why I hate politics as well, because it's so easy to push pawns on chess pieces around on a thing and be like, you do this and you do that and you attack this person. It's all well and good to say that from your $1 billion plane that's up in the sky and untouchable.
No one person should have that much power.
Yeah.
Kanye West.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to end this one. I know I've said that like 5 times already.
Yeah.
That's why I hate war, politics, and religion.
Yeah.
Can just...
And avocado. Avocado can fuck off too.
You don't like avocado?
No. Oh, no.
What is wrong with you? Oh, shit. Have you got any ideas? Have you got anything in the works, or...
I am looking at another Adelaide one. I actually have... I'm looking into the history of the... fucking hell. Apparently I need one because my brain's not working. Lobotomy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I want to do an episode on the history of the lobotomy.
That's cool.
Because South Australia was actually a huge part in the history of the lobotomy.
Really?
So,
I was about to
yeah.
say, why did someone get lobotomized?
Yeah, I should have
Wow.
been lobotomized.
Well, that's a bit exciting. That'll be a good one.
Yeah, yeah. So I think that will be interesting because it's another thing that started from, well, not that fucking Mengele ever had good intentions, but it started from someone with good intentions. He thought he was helping.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it ended up, it's very similar to this.
To this, yeah.
Ended up,
all in research.
yeah, and it ended up being done on people without their consent.
Yeah.
And, because you're a woman who read a book in public, how dare you?
Yeah.
You need to be lobotomized.
Shit.
And yeah, I've found some very interesting things and some celebrities who paid for their children to be lobotomized because they didn't like the way they were behaving.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, don't tell me more.
Yep.
Don't tell me more.
I know, I'm like, I need to stop.
Shit, I thought this was going to be a quick one, but it wasn't. So this was a messed up episode, I think. Even though it wasn't me being like, this person was murdered this way and this person was murdered this way. But I think it's just the sheer number of people that died.
And that's just people they've actually been able to work out too.
Yeah.
Like, there could have been so many that they just didn't even
There's maybe so many more burial sites.
Yeah.
With more thousands and thousands of bodies. You don't know.
That's exactly right. But,
yeah. Right. Yeah, so as Jade will say, hit the bell.
Yep. Do all the follows, do all the likes.
And we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.